Ross, and I am the editor-in-chief of Transformer Technology. I'm also the curator of our content. I'm the president of this organization behind me, Electric Power Reliability Alliance, and I do something with Smart Grid. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to talk about all of these things, and we're here to talk about Crosslink technology. With us today are two of the leaders, organizational leaders, founding and organizational leader taking it to the next level. Edson is the CEO, and he's the leader taking it to the next generation. And John Ulcar, who is the founder and still heavily involved in the organization. We're going to be talking with both of them about a number of topics. I know you all have two divisions, one of them the formulating division and the other one the casting division. And I want to get into that a little bit. But the thing for our audience, I think that is most important is the your work as it relates to bushing. And that's what we want to talk about today, next generation of bushing.
I was just thinking here, Alan, it's one of the things that, John taught me. One of the first things that he taught me when I started with Crosslink technology was the fact that, sometimes you have these big transformers that may cost $500,000
right,
waiting somewhere for a couple of bushings.
Yes.
And
yes.
they cannot ship that transformer, or they cannot serve their customers, or the utility or whoever needs that transformer because of half a dozen bushings or so, right? So, and I think that is one of the things that we here at Crosslink try to do every day, which is be really fast. So deal with very short lead times, much shorter than what you would expect from a cast component manufacturer.
Yeah.
And also, I think the fact that we are vertically integrated. So, in one side of our plant, we make the liquid epoxy that will be used to cast the bushing, in the other part of the plant helps a lot, right?
That also means that you innovate both ends of it. You innovate at the epoxy end, and then you innovate at actually, bushing manufacturing. Innovation on behalf of the OEM. Does the OEM bring you in at an early stage when they are manufacturing for an IOU? So an IOU comes in and says, we want to buy this many bushings. When do they bring you in, John?
Actually, they bring us in at the design stage. Because we are a formulator, we understand the chemistry intimately as to how it could be applied to the bushing. And then there's the second part, which we have electrical engineers on staff. And we actually partner with the electrical engineers at the companies that were the customers that we're dealing with.
Okay.
And in a lot of cases, they're dealing with space constraints. There's partial discharge, any number of electrical properties that have to be accounted for. And in some cases, the design is a large part of it, which can be designed by both the customer engineers and our engineers.
Right.
Then there's the chemical part of it, which is where we will actually in some cases design the epoxy to meet the requirements. And in some cases, it could be mechanical requirements. They have a really high, cantilever requirement, like because of the cables that are being attached to it, right, as well as thermal cycling, extreme thermal cycling or extreme temperatures. So we will balance the mechanical properties and the chemical properties of the epoxy with the design itself. That's where I think we marry the two together very, very neatly.
John, I love it when you geek out on bushings. when you get into it,
I was talking in very simple terms.
If you've done this for 40 years, then you have a reputation for excellence, right?
That's correct.
They must know that that's what you do. How are you using technology to be able to continue to make excellence a part of what you do?
That's what we strive to do every single project that we engage on. Back to what John was saying, I also have seen not only companies getting us involved in the design of the bushings, but also with all the complications that have occurred with the supply chain. There has been a lot of reshoring. I'm not saying anything that it's new to the audience. And because of that, a lot of our customers, they ask us, can you help with this part that I used to buy from, a different, part of the world, right? So the technology that we have to help them goes again back to the chemistry technology. We do have over 1,500 proprietary formulations here. It's very rare when we have to really start from scratch on resin, particularly the ones that we use for the bushings, right? And of course, it's an ongoing thing. I mean, we are just making more investments this year, Alan, on technology to make the bushings and also to improve our manufacturing of the resins. And this is an ongoing thing. It will happen over the next 5-10 years. It's the way that every company, if you want to continue to be fast and being able to customize the solutions to your customers, you have no choice.
What's your pedigree tell you about the future?
We are actually focusing on two new developments within the bushing industry right now. One is to decrease the partial discharge and the electrical, and actually increase some of the electrical properties within the epoxies themselves. Heat generation, all these things are really the enemies of electricity. And so we actually have a program in place to start developing products that will be much improved again, and it'll improve the longevity of the product in the field again because of improving these properties. But particularly, the one property we're focusing on the most is actually decreasing partial discharge. Our goal is to get to zero. No, that's the brass ring. But we are actually looking at really making significant improvements in that part of the business. And secondly, we are looking at mimicking porcelain from the point of view of self-cleaning out in the outdoor field, and especially in polluted areas.
Okay.
And as most people know that, first of all, assembling porcelain parts, porcelain is not the easiest product to work with. It's brittle, has other issues, but it does have great outdoor self-cleaning properties. So with the epoxy, we're going to give them a product that's much more stable, from a mechanical point of view. Won't break, even if some hunters want to shoot guns at it as a practice, it won't be destroyed in the field. And at the same time, we will really have this new system in place that we're developing that will make them self-cleaning, approaching the properties of porcelain.
If you can solve both of the problems that you affect the technology, and then you also can self-cleaning, that would be amazing. So that's one of the innovations that's coming. Thank you both for joining us. Thank you for your information. But more importantly, thank you for 40 years of excellence. And I really, I pray that you were blessed with 40 more. So thank you for being that kind of a privately held company in this very, very big, massive industry that's providing value and is providing a lower total cost of ownership. But thank you for being Crosslink. And John, thank you for being thoughtful enough to understand what needs to happen in order to pass on the legacy. And we're going to talk a lot more about that on different formats. Thank you so much. This is Alan Ross. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan.